Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Human Subjects Research presentation. My name is Hannah Rodriguez, and I am a Human Subjects Research Specialist here in the HSR office at UTD. Today, we'll be discussing what the IRB is and what information you will need to submit with your online application via Cayuse. First, we'll start with what is the Institutional Review Board. It's a university-wide standing committee established to protect the rights and welfare of human subjects recruited to participate in research. The IRB members consist of UTD faculty and staff, a student representative, and community members with varying backgrounds, expertise, and experience. We just want to ensure that our review board has a diverse experience so that they can properly review studies and protect the rights and welfare of our participants. Additionally, the HSR office reviews all human subjects research conducted by faculty, staff, and students here at UTD. Next, we have the different levels of IRB review. First, we have exempt review, which is where class projects will fall into. They are considered to be less than minimal risk and are administratively reviewed by the HSR office. This means that they will not go to the IRB for review. Next, we have the expedited review, which is going to be no greater than minimal risk and is reviewed by 3 IRB members. Lastly, we have our full board review, which is going to be considered more than minimal risk and is reviewed by all IRB members. Class projects do have some limitations in regards to what research they can and cannot involve. For example, class projects research will not involve direct links between the study and participants. This means no names, email addresses, birthdays, or essentially anything that could be used to identify an individual and their participation in the research should not be collected. Class projects will also not include protected classes. These are minors, persons with developmental or intellectual disabilities, or prisoners. There will also be no video recordings of participants. Lastly, sensitive and private aspects of behavior such as suicidal thoughts, alcohol, drug use, past or future criminal conduct will not be collected. Lastly, class projects are approved for only one semester and all data should be deleted at the end of the semester. We want to be sure that we're protecting the participants throughout their involvement in studies. We can do this by monitoring their safety. This essentially is just giving them the opportunity to stop participation, taking breaks, or letting them skip questions that they may not feel comfortable answering. We also want to protect their privacy and confidentiality. We can do this by collecting only de-identified data, limiting access to data to only individuals listed on the IRB application, and ensuring that data is stored on a secure device or location. This essentially will just minimize all risk for the participants involved in our studies. Next up, we just have all the items you will need to complete a study submission to our office. This submission will contain all study personnel's human subjects research training that can be completed through CITI, all recruitment material and scripts, consent forms, research instruments that involve survey measures, interview questions, or essentially anything that the participant would come into contact with for the purpose of this study. A debrief form, which is only applicable if your study involves deception, and letters of support. Please note that the application and study materials should be written so that an average person on the street could understand the study. Typically, we recommend from 6th to 8th grade language. Here we have our human subjects protection training. To do this, you can get started on this CITI training. You will need to use the first link, which will take you to the CITI website. If you need any help signing up for CITI or finding the correct human subjects protection certificate, we do have a step-by-step guidance linked on this presentation and listed on our human subjects research website. For the recruitment process, you'll need to consider how you plan to recruit participants. Will it be through email, social media postings, text messages, or flyers? Next, the recruitment scripts and materials must provide information about the study to the participant. Here are a few examples of what possible recruitment material looks like for research studies. On the left, we have a flyer that could be posted around campus. It will have the name of the study, the eligibility requirements, maybe a QR code so that the individual could access the study survey, and then contact information should a participant need to contact you. On the right is an Instagram post story that contains the same information as the flyer, but also has a clickable link for easy access to the survey on any mobile device. Here we have an example of an email that can be sent out for participant recruitment. If you do intend to recruit through email, we ask that you only use email addresses that you already have, as using the UTD directory is not approved for research recruitment. Here we have the informed consent section. The informed consent must be provided to all participants for research activities. It is important that they are also made aware that their participation is voluntary and that they can quit at any time. The consent form should also include the purpose of the study, the description of the task, which includes what the task is, where it will take place, and how long it will take to complete, and how the data will be collected or stored. An example of this will be provided on the next slide. Additionally, for studies that are mineral review, in this case, class projects, signatures are not required. Here is an example of what the informed consent should contain for a class project study. It has the description of the project with information of where the study takes place, which is online via survey, what questions will be asked. So they will be asking questions about quality of sleep and mood, and then how long it will take to complete, which is 10 to 15 minutes. It also has the information about where the data will be stored and who will have access to it. For studies that utilize online surveys, the first question must be the consent form, and it must be a required question. This means that the participant must not be able to skip the question and continue to the survey, or select I do not agree and still continue to the survey. The only way they can continue to the survey section of this study is if they select I agree. If you need any guidance on how to format a Qualtrics survey so that it enforces the skip logic and forced response, you can use the Qualtrics tips guidance document on our HSR website. Next, we have the research instruments that are involved in the study. This is essentially all of the measures used in the study, which is the survey questionnaire, interview questions, any presentations, any images, music, videos, which should include sources and links, or any data collection forms. Essentially, anything that the participant will see will need to be attached to the Caillou submission. Circling back to studies that might involve deception, how do you know if your study involves deception? Firstly, deception is not telling the participants the true purpose of the study and/or withholding information. A debriefing should be provided after each participant has completed the study. The debriefing procedures should include the true purpose of the study, why deception was needed, and the options for the participant to withdraw their data from the study. Should the participant choose to withdraw from the study, their data would need to be destroyed. Additionally, if your study involves deception, it's required that you have a statement in your consent form that states that for scientific reasons, the consent does not include all information about the study hypothesis and the research question being tested, and that a debriefing procedure will be provided at the end of the study. The most important note so far is that approval must be obtained before conducting any research. This involves recruitment, testing, or anything like that. And if you have any questions or if you need to modify your study in any way after you get approval, you can contact our office and we'll be more than happy to help you out. So, how do you submit a study to Cayuse for our review? First, if your professor has not requested access to Cayuse, then they can do so with the Cayuse user request link. Once you've been granted access, you can log in using the link in the presentation or through our UTD Human Subjects Research page. And if you need any guidance on navigating Cayuse, we do have documents available with step-by-step instructions. Lastly, we have a specific tab on our website that provides guidance such as templates and checklists for undergraduate class projects.